Ever thought it's weird that the American dream is just shelter?
Do you ever think about how you have to work 50 plus hours a week sometimes just to survive and afford basic needs?
So you mean to tell me the only way we can have a roof over our head is if we go to work?
Get 2 or 3 jobs just to make ends meet and shit.
Like basic needs, shelter, food, water, love, like Maslow's hierarchy of needs, like that should not be a privilege.
Thank you so much for giving me the absolute bare minimum.
Basic necessities, food and housing become
Things are becoming so irrationally expensive that even I'm starting to question the prices.
I just split my groceries 3 different ways in order to pay for them.
I've been working multiple jobs since college, and I am tired of it. I'm tired of this, Grandpa!
It's about survival. People who are in work should be able to survive.
Why are we paying taxes on something as essential as having a roof over our heads?
People are skipping grocery store, delaying their Medicare, and giving up on basic necessity. Because everything costs too much. How housing is become unaffordable in America today. It's ridiculous. Even 2 jobs, 3 jobs is not cutting it anymore for a lot of people. And don't even tell me the exhaustion and burnout you will get from putting too many hours from your jobs. A lot of people are putting 90, even 100 a week just so they can afford the basic necessity, feed their family, enjoy life. And not enjoy life. No, they don't got to enjoy life because this time is belong to work. How did we get here, America? And if you are one of those people who's working more than 80 hours a week, drop a comment, let us know why you're working 80 hours a week, plus just to afford a basic necessity. If even you can afford basic necessity. So if you are new here, do me a favor, smash the subscribe, like, share, and comment, and hype me up, hype me up, hype me up. All right, let's check out this video.
Hey, the older I get, the more I realize you can't survive off of $15 an hour or $18. Fuck it. You can't survive out here off that shit. What the fuck you gonna pay? Your bills, that's it.
Anyone ever thought it's weird that the American dream is just shelter? Like, if you just work hard enough, you can have a roof over your head and continue to figure out how to pay for that roof your entire existence. Hold on a second. Think how much farther we could evolve with technology and advancements and innovation if people weren't trying to figure out how the fuck they're gonna sleep at night 30 days from now. And I'm the crazy one. Wake the fuck up.
Do you ever think about how you have to work 50 plus hours a week sometimes just to survive and afford basic needs like housing and food and water, while some people just are born into millions or billions and never have to work for it? And I just think I want to make a series called How to Become a Billionaire. And I don't know if it's possible. I feel like maybe it's not, because in order to become a billionaire, you can't be a good person. Like, you have to cut corners and you have to exploit. But I hope that's not true. I hope we can all become billionaires so we can travel the world and do fun things and enjoy our lives instead of having to work the majority of our lives.
Man, be grateful if you got a roof over your head. There's someone out there whose favorite part of the day is going to sleep, because at least they could dream about being inside a house. That's somebody's life. If you ain't got nothing to be thankful for, shit, be thankful for that.
So you mean to tell me the only way we can have a roof over our head is if we go to work? The only way our lights and gas can be on and we can use it is only if we go to work? You mean to tell me the only way that we could eat and put food on our table is if we go to work? The only way that we can have anything to survive is only if we go to work. Think about that. Really think about that. The only way we can get what we want is only if we go to work. That don't sound suspicious? That don't sound suspicious. That don't sound suspicious to you. The only way to have necessities is only if we go to work. And the reason why I keep saying work is because our jobs is really controlling us. Our job is controlling you, me, all of us. Because if we don't go to work, we don't have these things. And it's crazy because it's like the way the whole system is set up, the system is set up for us to depend on the system. I'm going to let that marinate. I'm going to let that marinate. I'm going to let that marinate real good.
So tell me, why are we paying taxes on something as essential as having a roof over our heads? We don't tax on basic necessities like bread and milk, right? So why do we tax our homes? A home isn't a luxury. It's a basic human need. Whether you rent or own, having a place to live is fundamental. So why do we treat it like a taxable commodity? Maybe it's time we rethink how we tax the place we all need to call home. Let me know your thoughts about this.
Life's so expensive right now, everybody got 2 or 3 jobs and shit. The economy is so expensive, it's to the point everybody working 2 or 3 jobs just to make ends meet and shit. You can't even think about retirement nowadays and shit because you're just trying to survive the damn day and shit.
This kind of thinking is what gets us into scary territory because having your basic needs met should not be a privilege. It should be a privilege to have anything additional to your basic needs met, like basic needs, shelter, food, water, love, like Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Like that should not be a privilege. We come onto this planet being conscious beings, and if we can't give people basic needs, then we have significantly failed as a humankind. I totally see what you're saying about if somebody like doesn't have struggle, then they don't have perspective and therefore they can't offer empathy, but that's not necessarily true. Like empathy is taught, and if we continue to teach people to be conscious of other people's experience and have them listen, like learn to listen, learn to engage, learn to love, learn to connect, then that wouldn't necessarily be as much of an issue. I think that saying that your basic needs is a privilege, and if you don't have your basic needs, that's the only way that you're going to be able to offer empathy to people who do struggle, like, is kind of a twisted take, because we don't need to force struggle in order to force understanding. All of the understanding and the connection pieces, the love pieces are taught, and struggle is not the only avenue to learn those things. There comes a point where when you're given too much and you're oversaturated, you're overindulged, then you lose touch with reality. But basic needs and that do not go hand in hand.
You're missing the point. This isn't about good wages and bad wages. It's about survival. People who are in work should be able to survive. In fact, people who aren't in work should be able to survive. People should be able to afford to have a roof over their head, to pay their bills, and to eat. When people in full-time work are relying on food banks, we have a problem. Now granted, somebody on minimum wage isn't going to be going on 6 skiing holidays a year, obviously. But they shouldn't be having to use food banks. They should be able to afford to at least survive. And frankly, anyone who works in public service should be paid more than minimum wage anyway, because we simply cannot survive without them, as we discovered during the pandemic, when the majority of the people who are now going out on strike still had to work. So when somebody's job is so important that they have to work through a pandemic while everyone else sits at home, we should be paying them bloody properly.
When I was a kid, my parents constantly talked about money problems, and that completely destroyed my view of money. They would always say that we put a roof over your head, at least you have food on your plate, at least you have clothes, at least you have a bed. Oh, so what we buy isn't enough for you? Yes, Mom, thank you so much for giving me the absolute bare minimum. Worst part is, like, even though I make my own money now, I still feel guilty about buying anything nice for myself because, like, I'm always in a state of survival mode. Please tell me that we all have, like, some kind of spending guilt, okay? Like, oh my lord.
Why is everything so fucking expensive? I just want to have one job. I've been working multiple jobs since college, and I am tired of it. I'm tired of this, Grandpa! And it's not even to, like, have a little extra fun money. No, it's for me to hit the bare minimum, like, pay my bills, get food so I can eat! I just want one paycheck that covers all the things for me. I am very grateful in many ways. I am very privileged in many ways. And I do recognize that. And I try not to take that for granted because I understand other people's positions are also rough. But, oh, I will say as of late, the stress about money has been insane. All I do is just get gas and groceries and pay bills, and I have $0 to my name. All I want is to buy an Appa Stuffy from Nickelodeon Universe. Anyway, I know I'm not the only one out there stressed about money and the way that things are in the world in terms of this, but goddamn!
I just split my groceries 3 different ways in order to pay for them, with a line of people behind me. I wanted to cry so bad walking out of that store. It was so embarrassing. All I want to do is provide for my family and my friends and myself. I want to create a future where I can help other people. And I can't even buy my own fucking groceries right now. I'm so fucking done struggling. I'm so done struggling.
Elites have lost their goddamn ever-loving minds. You did basic necessities, food and housing, become radical ideas and radical concepts. Holy shit, I have been alive now almost 40 years. And I've seen it all. Usually they just drag queer people and black people and people of color, holding them up as little props so they can push through their corporate policies. Trickle down economics. How is that treating you? What are we, 30 years into that now? 15? Still looking for a trickle. It's just gonna take a little bit longer, I guess. Be so for real. I cannot believe that in 2026, it is a radical concept. They have now put radical around a politician that says, hey, I hear your cries for lower housing, and I hear your cries for more income, and I'm gonna answer. Holy shit, that guy's a fucking radical. That guy fucking radical. Get rid of him, he's a problem. And there are people supporting them still. I don't even know what to fucking say at this point.
Things are becoming so irrationally expensive that even I'm starting to question the prices. And I say that as someone who lives under the guise of, well, I gotta get it anyway, right? So like if it's gas or food, I really don't question it because it's a necessity for me to live. What am I gonna say? I'm not gonna eat food. And I just got food from Popeyes, and all that's not necessarily a necessity. 3 chicken tenders, a side, and a drink is $18. 18?
A lot of y'all be saying just get a better job, and it shows you don't know how real life works. This is episode 11 of Things People Don't Explain. So here I am to explain it to you using a real world example. Let's say you live in Arizona, right? The minimum wage here is $15.15. That alone is already low enough. But say you get a job that pays minimum wage, you have to work 40 hours a week, essentially full time. And the workplace doesn't allow overtime, so you can't get more money if you work more than that. The most you would make that week is $606. 1 week only of 40 hours. Say you get paid every 2 weeks. 606 times 2 is 1,212. That's from working 80 hours before tax. So after tax, the paycheck might be like 900. Multiply 900, which is your probably take home, by another 2 weeks. That's 1,800. The median rent in Arizona for a 1-bedroom is 1,322. So with your 1,800 that you made in the month, minus the 1,300 for rent, that leaves you around 500 to last you until your next paycheck. And that 500 left is not including electricity bills, gas bills, groceries, phone bill, Wi-Fi bill. So by the time you get all that paid off, you're going to be left with nothing. If you have children, it's going to be way worse. Now for the just get a better job argument. First off, most jobs only offer minimum wage. If you don't have a college degree, that's probably the most you're going to get paid. I don't think you can find a decent, high-paying job that'll cover every last one of your expenses. So even if it was higher than $15.15, you would still probably be in the same predicament.
Number two, some people have children. People just don't have the resources to just switch jobs that easily, especially if they're already working full-time and their kids are in school. And if someone's already working full-time, how do you expect them to train, have an interview, and all that for another job? If your schedule's already packed as is with your current job, another job's not going to want to wait for you. There's other people that they could hire. Number four, probably limited hours. There's no guarantee with any job that you're going to be working 40 hours a week, unless the position is full-time, but even then, they be changing up the hours sometimes. And in this economy, you need as much hours as you can get, especially if you're living by yourself or with your kids. So it's not that easy to just get another job. There's other factors that you have to consider. Because most people, they don't want to work minimum wage jobs, but that's probably all they have. Job market's poor, they have kids, they have priorities. And the main people that I see making this argument are people who never grew up struggling, always had everything handed to them, never had a job in their life. So y'all don't think it's a little unfair to be like, oh, well, just get a better job? As someone who's never had to do that, that's an unfair judgment to make. So let's review. It's not that people don't want better jobs. It's just not as simple getting one as y'all make it sound. Simple as that.
And what about when all you can afford is a piece of crap apartment in a shitty fucking building in a shitty fucking neighborhood where it's drafty or it's too hot in the summer and there's vermin, there's mold, and you've got a property manager or landlord that does the bare minimum as far as maintenance is concerned, and you don't have functioning appliances or mold issues, water issues, because that is the reality for way too many fucking people in this country every fucking day. What they can afford is a shithole apartment with a shithole landlord, and it is actively harming them. Because living with things like vermin and mold and drafty apartments are harmful, not only to your body, but to your finances. Because when you have a crappy apartment that doesn't hold heat, then you're paying way more than somebody who has a nicer apartment just to heat your fucking apartment. And that is a load of bullshit. Additionally, what they can afford for a lot of fucking people is a crappy apartment in a shitty neighborhood and an actual food desert. A food desert being a place where you cannot easily get healthy food because there aren't any grocery stores, and because what they can afford means public transportation, and most people can't afford or have the ability to take public transportation to a fucking actual grocery store that's 40 minutes away, which is the reality for a lot of people, to get fresh produce, fresh meat, and all the rest of those things. So they live on processed crap, which again is harmful to the body. Living on processed crap hurts people. Living in shitty apartments hurts people. Basic necessities should be an apartment that doesn't harm you and access to healthy food. People in this country should never have to worry about being homeless or going hungry. And if you can't agree with that, then you are a monster and lack fucking empathy, and we are never going to have a fucking productive conversation. Thank you for your time, and may you always have the day you deserve.
$15 an hour is not a living wage. Okay? I live in a state where the cost of living is significantly lower than the rest of the country. Okay? And I don't have money for anything. Okay? I make $15 an hour and I'm broke. It's not a living wage. It's not. Not with rent, car payment, gas, electric, fuel gas, okay, internet, phone, your streaming services. Most of the time, I don't have money left over to buy basic necessities. I don't. I have to break up my payments and my bills just so I don't overdraw every week.
I don't think most Americans are trying to become millionaires right now. I think they're just trying to figure out how a quick trip to Costco somehow costs $200, why car insurance keeps going up, and how one expected bill can wipe out an entire month. That's the real financial conversation happening in this country. People don't necessarily need a giant business with employees and 50 moving parts. They just need more breathing room. They need options. They need another source of income that doesn't require quitting their job or spending every waking hour online. I'm curious, what expense has increased the most for you over the last couple years? I'd love to hear it.
The economy is trash. Politics are crazy. Everything is way too expensive right now. And I still have to move out. I still have to move out of my parents' house. It is non-negotiable at this point. I'm so sorry.
And when you go to Walmart, you grab 3 things, ring it up, $70. This can't be the world I gotta be an adult in. This can't be. You grab 4 things, it's almost $90. How am I supposed to? This can't be right.
Well, I'm on my way to the food bank. I go once every 2 weeks because I can't afford groceries. I mean, I have a decent job. I actually do, but I cannot afford groceries. And it's not depending on the number of kids I have or how much my rent is. Literally, inflation is awful right now. I cannot afford to live. And I know I'm not the only one who's struggling with this.
Yo, Superfly, so what if we're actually, like, I don't know, I'm just getting silly here. What if we're not into the plan?
Why is everything so fucking expensive? I just want to have one job. I've been working multiple jobs since college, and I am tired of it. I'm tired of this, Grandpa! And it's not even to, like, have a little extra fun money. No, it's for me to hit the bare minimum, like, pay my bills, get food so I can eat! I just want one paycheck that covers all the things for me. I am very grateful in many ways. I am very privileged in many ways. And I do recognize that. And I try not to take that for granted because I understand other people's positions are also rough. But I will say as of late, the stress about money has been insane. All I do is just get gas and groceries and pay bills, and I have $0 to my name. All I want is to buy an Appa Stuffy from Nickelodeon Universe. Anyway, I know I'm not the only one out there stressed about money and the way that things are in the world in terms of this, but goddamn!
So just a reminder to go and eat some food that's actually going to fuel you, because coffee and granola is not a real breakfast. Go and drink some water, because I would bet that you have not drank enough water today and you're probably dehydrated. And go and move your body. Go outside if you can. Go take a walk. I know it's incredibly cold outside and maybe that's not an option. So if you can't go outside, move your body in some capacity inside, okay? Oftentimes we overcomplicate wellness. We overcomplicate self-care. And sometimes when it comes down to it, we're actually just not even doing the basic things we need to maintain equilibrium in our bodies and in our minds. So go eat, go drink some water, and move. And you're not going to miss anything, I promise you, by taking a break to go do these 3 things. And just a little addendum for any of my people who struggle with their mental health. I know that sometimes doing the basic things seems impossible. It takes every ounce of energy you have to just get up. And so I just want to acknowledge that. And I want to say that we don't have to drink 8 cups of water a day. We don't have to make a gourmet meal. We don't have to do a 60-minute workout at the gym if we're not feeling up to it, okay? We can modify and we can take smaller steps. We can drink a little bit of water. We can eat something nutritious. We can maybe go for a 2-minute walk, a 5-minute walk. Truly, it does not have to be long. We can maybe do 10 jumping jacks, whatever it is. But if you are just finding it difficult to do those basic things right now, then you can modify. We don't have to go do things at level 100 every single day of our lives, especially if we are struggling with our mental health.
If I am struggling to have enough time to meet my basic needs, like cooking nourishing meals for myself, sleeping well, hydrating properly, having time to relax, having time to go to the grocery store, this is a sign that I need to shift anything but those things in order to make sure that I'm okay. This means taking work off my plate. This means saying no to plans. This means saying no to travel plans. We have been taught to do the opposite, that if you are having a hard time meeting your basic needs, this simply means that you're not disciplined enough, you're not working hard enough, and that you should sacrifice those needs in order to meet the expectations of other people, work more, so on and so forth. This is a huge thing to unlearn and to actually have the nervous system capacity to move through the emotions that comes with deconditioning and unlearning this kind of relationship with yourself. The best thing that you can do is for the next 24 hours, try your best to prioritize your basic human needs and start to see where there are other opportunities for you to get things off your plate. This reduces your overall allostatic load and will support your nervous system.
Here is some shit to unpack. Self-neglect happens quietly. You skip meals, rest, and hydration. You don't check in with yourself because everything else feels more urgent than you. And you fade quietly. Self-neglect trains you to treat your basic needs like extras instead of the foundation you are supposed to stand on.
It's the parents in poverty that will justify giving their kids the bare minimum and say that they're a good parent and that you owe me for life. You realize providing a roof over a child's head is not even the minimal requirements for meeting a child's needs, right? Even if you give them food, is it healthy food? Are you giving your kids full attention and helping them with homework and teaching them life skills? Or are you just feeding them and giving them a roof over their head and dropping them off at school and calling it a day? If your expectation of being a good parent is putting a roof over their head, giving them food, and making sure that they just go to school, you are a trashy parent. You should have gotten yourself a goldfish. I would say a puppy, but puppies actually need love, attention, and affection. And if you can't even give that to your kid, then you can't even give that to a dog. It's crazy too because it's all the parents in poverty who will say that you owe me for taking care of you. You don't know how much I struggle to do XYZ. Tell me you're a trashy parent without telling me you're a trashy parent. It is inappropriate to put the financial stresses on your child for you having to meet their needs because you decided to have them and then put the pressure on them as if they owe you for you doing your job as a parent when you probably didn't even do that great of a job. And people wonder why now many kids that grew up in poverty don't talk to their parents, especially older siblings that were forced to take care of their younger siblings. Like, hello, come on, people, be so for real.
Not gonna lie, $40 is a new $20 because like what you get with $40 today compared to like 10 years ago is like completely different. Like a 20 would run out in fucking 10 minutes if you can't process. That's a meal probably. But 40, you could actually like spend that shit low key.
Can we just talk about how expensive things are getting? Look at this. Blueberries are $14. Are you kidding me? Cookies, 75% of everything in your will. This used to be $4. For Doritos, $49.99 and we get to have sex with your wife. For Doritos. Pinto beans, 2 molars doesn't have to be yours. They want me to just go find someone's teeth? For quinoa, there's just a picture of Starry Night. I gotta get the original, I assume. Paper towels, Hamnet on VHS. I don't even think they make that.
I think that that's basic human need. It's on the bottom in the Maslow theory of needs. So having a secure home, a safe and secure home, is a basic necessity.
Hey, it's me, in the car. Anyway, we can agree that children all deserve a stable household, right? Like, all children deserve a roof over their head that's stable, right? That is something that children deserve. Just asking.
I am fully convinced that life right now costs at least $500 a day. Last night, for example, I'm making a cake. My daughter's warming up milk in the microwave. Microwave breaks. It was an accident, but it breaks. I'm thinking it's only going to cost a couple $100 to replace because it's a microwave. It's $500 for a microwave. And it was such a pain to get out of this. I am beyond ready for vacation.
Better than being homeless, just take your trash out yourself. And you are absolutely right. I have been homeless in this chair, and this is way better. And that's why I started this TikTok, to educate the uneducated. See, I think some people don't realize some of us literally can't. This isn't about being lazy or wanting a hotel. It's about living in a place that's supposed to provide care and not getting it. When you depend on staff for basic things like trash, hygiene, or even just being moved and they ignore you, that's not tough love. That's neglect. And saying at least you're not homeless doesn't make it okay. Two things can be wrong at the same time. People deserve more than just a roof over their head. They deserve dignity. If you've never had to rely on someone else for everything, be grateful. But don't speak on something you've never lived.
We were having a barbecue. My sister was here, my mom was here, and a couple of her friends. And we were talking about things, and we got on the topic of like not having any money. And like when we were younger and like being dirt poor. And it's just always funny and shocking to me when people don't have stories of that, or like they're like dumbfounded, like, because hello, like I grew up as a kid and we weren't like wealthy, but we did fine, and I never needed anything. I got whatever I needed and basically everything I wanted, and but I wasn't like, we weren't rolling in it, that's for sure. We never went to Disney World. I thought if you went to Disney World, you were a fucking millionaire. I don't think you had to be. Now I would never go to Disney World. I'm all set. But like we never went anywhere. The best place we went was like the Great Escape. And then when I was in high school, we went to Maine for like a week to the beach. That was like the highlight of my life. And saw all the Speedo men from Canada. And scarred me for life a little bit. Then I was an adult. Now I'm still an adult. But when I was first starting out as an adult, we had no fucking money. None. And when we lived in Texas, after we got married, we moved to Texas for a year and a half. We had no money. I was a nanny. I made nothing. We lived in an apartment building that we had no business living in, by the way. Like, I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. Like, this is great. Yeah, it was great. And we didn't belong there because we couldn't afford it. Actually, we lived on the bottom floor, and then we had an outside entrance to like the street. That's the only way I ever went in and out of my apartment, because if I went through the lobby, they were going to be like, hey, bitch, you owe us money. And I couldn't handle that. So I snuck out the fucking window in the front. But also, I used to steal tampons from the local gym down the street because I didn't have money for tampons. Was I a member of the gym? No, didn't have any money. But the bathrooms were right in there when you first walked in. So I would go in with my purse and I would take like 8 tampons. Just see ya. I'm good for a while. That's how it gets. I ate a lot of ramen noodles and Diet Coke. That was basically my diet. Yeah. And people that don't have those stories, like, you gotta tone it down a notch. Also, it makes you crafty in life, okay? It makes you real crafty. I know how to do some shit. I'm not there anymore. We are not rolling in it, but we have a house, so we have cars, and our kids have clothes, and there's Pringles in the cupboard, so like, we're doing pretty good. But I'd like to hear your poor stories. Let's go back and forth.
I have seen some absolute white people shit today. I'm white, and it is way, way, way whiter than I've ever thought of being. I'm somewhere in Virginia in the mountains. You had to take roads I've never heard of, through valleys, hills, I don't even know. They don't have 2 lanes, they have 1 lane. I'm used to going up I-95 through Virginia to go to New York, Delaware, Washington, D.C. This is not that kind of Virginia. This is some rural-ass Virginia that you must have had to been on the Nina, the Pinta, or the Santa Maria, coming in at Plymouth Rock to get this property, because it is old and it is beautiful and it is nice, but it is white. And there were black people living there too. So it's not racist. It's just some kind of affluence that I can never aspire to have. I have seen how poor I am and how growing up in a trailer park has not prepared me for real life. I've been in different countries. I've been lots of different places and seen wealthy people, but these people are land rich. They have life grounded out here. They know two truths and they argue over the third one. The two truths that all these people have in common that they all know is Jesus and Trump. The third truth that they're apparently still debating is Ford or Chevy. I don't know. But I drive a Toyota Corolla. A Corolla. So I don't even have a dog in this fight. But I have never known that people could just have this much land and be this wealthy. I have been in denial of some sort, thinking that I'm comparable to other Americans. No, I'm poor. I am in the Toyota Corolla division, not where I've been in Virginia. I just don't understand. There is a definite divide. The worst thing you can be in America is not of a different race. It is poor because all these people are equal and they're of different races, but they are in some kind of league that I am not. I am even getting slammed by Anthony Oliver because I'm fat. So I'm the worst kind of American to be. Poor and fat. This is a bad day for me.